Alright, this is for the homeless cat project, and we are putting together cat houses, shelters, I'm sorry, cat shelters. And we're showing you the procedure right now to put these together. Styrofoam box, big ones, small ones.
Sure there's enough room to
Yep.
fit 1 or 2 cats in there.
Yep.
And you have to consider that there's going to be straw in there as well.
Yes, so the main house has to be a big cooler.
Or you can put 2 small coolers.
Together.
Together.
Yeah.
So you want to start off by taping the top.
The roof, so to speak, has to be taped together because we don't need the roof to come apart at all. The cats are going to enter in the front and have an exit out the back, so the top needs to stay totally solid.
And it's very important to get a good...
Very good seal. Very tight. No bubbles in the tape. If there's bubbles in the tape, water can get under there and it can freeze and then lift the tape. You can do these yourself by seeing this video, but we have a crew here doing them in a little bit faster speed because we need these out in the street, so to speak. And we have people to do different parts of the job to make it easier. We've got templates for the holes that we're going to be popping in, and we do everything with battery operated tooling for cutting the holes, which is the saw and a side cutter. Doing this by hand can take some time, but we have cut the time probably in a quarter from what it was before.
Are you kidding me? You know what? Okay, that's all right.
There we go. Okay. And I'll cut it.
I'm not going to tell you the tools you need, but obviously you can see what you need to make the job quicker. Always have knives, scissors. Julie, what's Debbie's last name?
Labruzzo.
Debbie Labruzzo built this for many years by herself by hand
And actually designed them.
and designed them. I'm sure there's other things out there. You can see them done with plastic crates and things like that, totes and those things. But we were able to, we have a connection to get these containers, so we're able to get these and put these together this way. But she used to do them by hand. Took her, I don't know the time it took her, but it was probably close to, 45 minutes, if not an hour a piece. And we got them down to about 20 minutes a piece. Once we get our measurements and stuff, it's pretty quickly. 2 hours to make one? Seriously? Wow. 2 hours to make one. Oof. All right, well, then we cut the time in like crazy amounts.
Okay, so this is the foyer.
This is the foyer. This is where the cats enter in. And you want the foyer to be accessible, and then a hole on the main unit so the cat can get in through the side. Now what we did was we made a template. And you'll notice in the end of the video that the foyer can be down on the ground, but the exit of the unit's got to be higher so the straw doesn't fall out of it. And you always have an exit in one of these. Never ever build one without an exit, or an animal can get in and attack a cat and the cat can't get out. So we made templates out of cardboard. That's a 6-inch hole. You figure out what size you'll be seeing, the sizes, inlet and outlet. The inlet of the hole, obviously the inlet is 6 inches. We basically just make a 6-inch hole, which I'll be doing in a minute, but they're doing all this first until it gets to the next step. And once those are cut like that, then we can cut them. We don't have to do any measurements after that at all. There is an adjustment that will be made once we make that first cut. There's an adjustment to be made to the floor of the main unit to go a little bit lower, and we have to fine cut that. Don't worry about that, guys. You can keep it just like that. We got to make that second cut anyway, so leave it right there. I mean, unless you want it lower, that's fine, but
Yeah, we need
that's
to lower.
fine. But don't worry about the bottom part of it,
Oh, okay.
because the bottom we're going to adjust once we get it all attached. Then we can, I make a marker mark and make an extra cut. There you go. Okay, so that was the front where the foyer was going to go. We mark everything, top, bottom. Some people sometimes have a hard time knowing what the front, top, bottom, and all that is when they set them up at their house. Or if they blow over and somebody helps us in putting them back on their wheel, so to speak. So we make sure we mark top. Okay, so that is our exit. That's our exit. See how the exit's a little higher? That's just going to go right out into the, right out into air, where the other side is going to be the entrance. The foyer is going to be attached to the front, and the hole has to be perfect. The outside hole doesn't have to be perfect. You just want a little bit higher so the straw doesn't come out, and it keeps it away from the elements. Okay, we're set to cut. You got 3 holes. You got one in the foyer.
We're set to cut.
This is the foyer. We got that one cut. Right there. That's cut. That's cut. And then the other, not cut, but marked. The other side is marked as well. Right there. Now we're going to make the cuts. All right, I'm going to give the, right there, just try to hold it steady as possible. Okay, when we go over here, we make the cuts. I'm going to use the grinding tool, because the grinding tool is way better than doing it by hand, obviously. And that's not supposed to happen. If somebody could hold this one, that's not supposed to happen. This is bigger, it probably won't go in. New blade, that's why it's doing that. Yeah, just hold it right here. Somebody. Okay, we're just scribing the hole, so when we go in with the saw, the other side. Maybe I'll spin it so I don't do that again. I think that was lower anyway. Now we take the saw, hold that right there. That one through. Let me do that one. So what we also have is air instead of vacuuming. You're gonna blow all the crap out of it. Yeah, I can put it. The next we're going to tape so all the little beads and stuff to be cleaned out. The W is to vacuum, but obviously it's way quicker that way. Okay, did I cut that already? Nope.
You did that.
Okay. Okay, now we got the build. Okay, all hands on deck. I'll take that.
Okay, all hands on deck.
All hands on deck.
Tom.
All right, builders.
Oh, Carol.
Okay, now our holes are all popped out. Now we got to tape the foyer. You can see the hole we made on the side. The foyer tapes right to the side of the unit. And this duct tape is really, really good stuff. We don't use the crap. Don't go to the 99-cent store and buy duct tape, people, because it ain't gonna work. Gotta keep in mind, go to Lowe's. Get the Gorilla tape from Lowe's. It's really important that you do that because when this takes the temperatures, that crappy tape just won't work. This is really good stuff. It'll adhere to the cold and temperatures and those things. Also, again, we mark entrance. We also mark the exit. It's important just for people that aren't really 100% sure how these go. So make sure you mark the entrance, mark the exit. Go ahead.
You don't want to put the escape in front of the wall.
Yeah, well, all right, well, yeah. Obviously, there's an escape for a reason. If the cat is going to escape, it's not a good idea for the cat's head to hit a wall. So maybe make the, make the exit so it's free to the air so the cat can get out.
And make sure they do a little cut here, remember?
Yes, and what we're doing is when we cut these corners, it's really important to make a zipper looking like cut, because if you just kind of lay it over, it'll fold up. You don't want any lifted spots. Any water gets into the tape, the water will freeze and then lift the tape up and the thing's going to fall apart.
Oh, yeah.
So you really have to be pretty stern about actually taping, especially this part of it, because this is the foyer. This is literally a super duper important part to this, because that's the only piece that's actually being assembled to another piece. So it's important that it's done really, really snug and tight.
It's gotta go in tighter in here, though. I think it's gonna
Yeah, don't be afraid when you're taking that tape, stuff it right in that corner. You don't want it to be like you don't want any air in there really, realistically, because any air gets in there, if there does get water, there can be some problems. So you really want to make it as snug and as tight to the styrofoam as possible. And the good tape sticks to the styrofoam like crazy. I mean, it's really good stuff, so you'll never have a problem with it pulling back or doing anything horrible if it's a really good tape.
Let's do this. Just get a little more of a cut, just because you see how it's going to be.
Yep, snug it right up, and then we're going to show you in a second.
Should we do like you? Okay.
That's a perfect cut right there. That's absolutely perfect. Yeah.
I mean, you want to leave this like this, and we'll go to the next, just so they know how to do it.
Sure, do that. That's a good idea.
Okay.
Yep. So in other words, we do all the way around,
Do all the way around.
but do that.
Do
Do
the
the little
corners, the
piece.
corners.
Yeah, do
Okay.
that one corner there. Just that one, because you can't do that when you don't have a piece across.
Right.
Do that one corner that you have completed.
After you do this,
Yep.
tell them.
Yep. After you set the two pieces each direction, then you take a corner piece. Well, you don't have the piece going down, right?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
not seeing it. Okay. There we go. Now I'm saying this piece. You don't have that. so
No,
don't
we
put
didn't put
in.
that side on.
Right, so don't do that. Just do this one so they
Oh,
can
okay,
see.
all right.
That's it. You don't want to do the corner. This last piece is really important as a secondary for the the water to get in. You don't want the water in there,
Why
so
I did that.
that's all right. As long as it's squished up in there and it's tight, you're
Yeah, but it's not going to catch on the bottom here, like this. There.
really stuff it in. There you go.
Okay. No, not right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just want them to know.
Yeah. Well,
As long as it's really pushed in there, you're good. That way all corners are nice and snug and tight. They're not going to get water in them.
okay. Then
Alright.
so
Okay, so you're going to do that all the way around. For time reasons, we're not going to do the whole.
flap.
Yeah, we're going to do. Now we got the. Oh, what about the inside? The cut on the inside. Spin it around. Now what also happens here is there's a ledge. Okay, this ledge inside here is too high. The cat can't get through. They can get through, but you're going to wind up putting straw inside here, all the way across inside the other side. So what we do with a marker, we take a marker and we just mark it down to the floor up. And go across here, down to the floor up. And generally we'll do this beforehand, but we cut that out of, make that hole bigger once it's actually staged on there. So that way we can make that flat. But that can come out of there with a hand sight. Just take that chunk right out of there. And we should have done that before we did the mount of the side panel, but that's all right. It can be done after. It's real easy. It's just styrofoam.
now we're doing the escape.
Now we're doing the escape. The escape is basically done, right? I mean, all we got to do is where you put flaps on. You put flaps on them.
Made out of, well,
Yeah, it's a heavy rubber material. You want it very, very flexible stuff. It almost, we don't even know what it is, to be honest with you, but it's kind of like a real heavy duty rubber that would almost be put like between a carpet at your house kind of thing. That type of material, but it's got to be able to take the water. And all we're doing is we're taping it right to the side. Make sure it's, yep, make sure it's where it lifts up on the top. It's as high as on the hole as you can get it.